Welcome everybody. This is going to be a very quick guide on how I set up my illusion control groups, and very specifically for Naga, PL, and TB. And there's going to be timestamps in the video if you guys want to check out specific heroes that you just want a quick little how to do before you load them up for the first time.
Banana slam jam.
There's several things that I think are very important if you're controlling illusion heroes. I think you should have a select all controlled units. That's just in case you want your illusions and your hero to be attacking something in a team fight. You should have select all of the units, so you want to send all of your illusions at something, but not you. And then you have at least 3 control groups. So the way you assign control groups is that you can do it in a private lobby. So like just as an example, we go onto Naga, and if we create control groups, all we have to do is select units and then push control plus whatever the hotkey is that we want. So say we want to bind these 2 illusions to our control group C. I would just type control C, and then I deselect the illusions, and then I have control of the illusions. So that's how you set control groups in general. But my 3 hotkeys that I use for control groups are V, C, and 5. Totally up to you, but so basically my hotkeys are 3, 4, 5, and then V and C on the keyboard. I think the specific hotkey, really not that important. It's more so that you have this many hotkeys, I think, to be optimal. So another really important setting is that I personally do not like using auto attack during the laning phase. So I have summoned unit auto attack is the same as heroes, which is standard, meaning in the lane, my illusions will not auto-attack, because generally if they auto-attack, they might take lane aggro or creep aggro in ways that you don't want. But I like to have my illusions on auto-attack throughout the course of the game. The difference is that if I don't have them on auto-attack and I send illusions over here, then they will just sit here if all I did was right-click. They will just sit here. And that's not what I really want during the game, because that makes me have to right-click them somewhere and then shift A-click, which is really annoying. So later on in the game, I like to have them on auto attack, because if I have them on auto attack, which you're going to see here, so if I send them at an enemy nearby, it'll go to that point and then quickly attack an enemy. So the way you can change that is there's a setting in your hotkeys for toggling auto attack. So I effectively use this setting sometime around 10 or 15 minutes, once per game. That's it. It's a hotkey that you can get used to, and at the end of the day, you use it once per game. Not a big deal, but I think in terms of getting used to, but it honestly is a very impactful thing to differ the laning stage from the later stages of the game. So notice how if you see at the bottom, it's toggling my auto attack. And I use that for every illusion or summons hero in the game. So let's just jump into Naga first, exactly for my hotkeys. So really important that Naga has a +1 mirror image illusion talent at 20. So when you're in a private lobby, you should level that talent before setting any of your hotkeys. So for Naga, I use C and V for 2 of her illusions of each. I can send these at different camps, different waves, and then if I want them to go to separate camps, like I can do this, send them this way, and then have this one branch off by just manually selecting it. It's also really important to note that if you want to tab through your individual illusions, you can just use tab. So at like the start of the game, I will summon units, and then I can just tab 1, right-click, tab, right-click, tab, right-click, tab, right-click. And the cycle of tab resets every single time you select your hero. Most notably, do have a select hero button. So what happens is that usually I send the illusions off in groups of 2, but the later on in the game it is, your illusions will be able to clear creep camps and creep waves by themselves, and that's totally a feels thing for you. So I use V and C for them. In terms of Naga, since I have limited hotkeys for my groups, I have Manta and Illusion Rune on the same hotkey. I have Manta on 5. So I can send Manta illusions one way, I can send 2 illusions another way with V and C, so 3 different places pretty reliably, and if I want one of these illusions to go scout while it's happening, I can do that. So for TB, no illusion talents or anything, so not a big deal. All of my conjure image illusions are on V. So with TB though, you use tab a lot more often, because you have generally most of the game, you have 2 illusions, because if you look at the duration, it's 34, and the cooldown is 16. So the majority of the game, you only have 2 illusions. In the late game, you have 3, but it's still the same idea. So with Terrorblade, I use V for all of my Conjure Image illusions, but I use Tab a lot more. Tab will go to the unit you last spawned. Doesn't really matter on Naga since her illusions get created at the same time. But it matters on TB because if I want to do Tab, it'll go to this one because it's my most recent one. But if I summon a new one, it'll tab to this one instead. So if I select my hero, it'll tab to the most recently summoned, then the next most recently, then back to my hero. Okay, so what I'll use on TB is V to send all of my illusions somewhere, and then when I want my like newer illusion to go somewhere, I will use tab once. If I want my old illusion to go somewhere, I will use tab twice. In terms of Manta, I just have it on C. So it's kind of like my first hotkey is V, my second hotkey is C, and then my third hotkey is 5. So it's like on Naga, I had 3 hotkeys, but on Terrorblade, I only have 2. I have 2 hotkeys I have 1 for Conjure Image and 1 for Manta. If you summon Manta recently compared to your Conjure Image, it will tab to those first, right? So if I do this, where I summon Conjure Image and then I use Manta, if I tab, it'll select one of my 2 Manta illusions. And with Naga, tab's not nearly as reliable because I don't like tabbing units anywhere unless I have to, because it won't be the same unit every single time, and I'm not really sure which one, either the one on my hockey group V or the one on my hockey group C that went somewhere. So it's really hard to keep track mentally of where those illusions went. So not much tab usage on Naga, but a lot of tab usage on TB. And then illusion runes, I have them on 5. So on TB, in team fights, I use the attack all command a lot more often, or control all units with 4. I use that a lot more often because of meta. I just want to, select all of my units. And then if I want my illusions to stay, I use 3 and I run my hero away by having my illusions attack something while I'm running away. So the combination of having these individual hotkeys plus select all other or select all units is very useful, especially on TB. So we go to Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer also uses the select all other button a lot because you create a ton of illusions. So if we create all of our illusions, if I want to send them at a hero, I'll just use the select all other option. Very important to get used to this on PL. So my Manta illusions are on V with PL, because if it's not a hockey group, I just want all of my illusions to be in one hockey group, because PL, a lot of times you are just sending all of your illusions at one guy. So, all of my illusion, including my Manta, are under, I use 3 to send them at people. But if I only want my Manta illusions to go at somebody, I use just V, right? So, say I'm in the wave, or what I can do is if I'm farming one wave and then I want to send illusions, Manta illusions down a lane, I'll have all of my illusions that have summoned, and then I'll just have my Manta illusions go elsewhere. Most notably for PL, since I said V is for Manta, 5 is still for Illusion Rune, but the big one is for your Doppelganger illusion jukes. So when you Doppelganger, you'll see that one illusion is a little bit brighter than the other, this one right here. You just kind of have to get used to it. So it does 0 damage, but it's the same tankiness as you, so it's really good for juking. So you can select that individual illusion, which I have on Control Group C. So say I Doppelganger, and I send my Manta somewhere, and I want to juke. This illusion goes on its own, right? This is also that illusion, but I had summoned 2 since I'm in, free spells mode. So this is really useful for, you want to send all your illusions somewhere, Manta somewhere else, C the other way, right? And then your hero AFKs. Really good for juking. Super important to get in the habit of doppelgangering and then pushing C right at the end of the doppelganger in order to juke with your illusion. You can kind of do whatever with your main hero. Sometimes it's better to AFK. Sometimes it's better to send your hero at somebody. If they're really good, they'll notice your hero's doing a ton of damage to them, so they'll catch on. Very important to have that individual illusion hotkey. So thanks for watching, guys. That's just a basic tutorial on getting your hotkeys set up and how to use them on each individual illusion hero. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Yada, yada.